Well, something went very wrong with the airplane. We know that categorically because the pilot did declare a mayday. He also made one attempt to land on this runway and obviously decided that things were not going properly, so he went round again and then decided to land on the same runway but from the opposite direction. However, whatever it was that had gone wrong, possibly, that we're talking and we've heard about bird strike, and possibly the failure of one engine and possibly even an incipient fire in one of the engines. But the pilot had his hands full. When he finally came in to land the final time, the aircraft it didn't have its undercarriage down, and I don't think that was an accident. I think they honestly couldn't put it down because there were probably no hydraulics because of the damage that had been done by the bird strike or whatever it was. And they also didn't have the flaps down. Those are the devices which enable the aircraft to land slowly. So the aircraft actually put down with no wheels, and very, very fast, much faster than normal. And what happened was that it went down. It was a beautiful landing, given the circumstances, wings perfectly level, and it slid the full length of the runway, almost undamaged, and it went over the very end of the runway, and less than 200 meters beyond it, it hit a wall, and that caused the airplane to break up and burst into flames. It was the wall that killed everybody, not the landing. If that wall had not been there, everybody would be alive now.
It does rather beg the question, then, why there might be a wall at, admittedly, the extreme end of a runway.
It does. It begs the question in a way which I've never seen anything quite like this before, because the wall was obviously incredibly substantial, and it wasn't just a wall. The instrument landing system antennae, the aerials, which provide guidance to pilots in bad weather to land, do precision approaches in bad weather without being able to see the runway until the last minute. Those aerials are normally just stuck into the ground, and they are collapsible. So if anybody does run over the end of the runway and hits these aerials, very little damage is caused by them. But in this particular case, it looks as if the aerials were embedded in a concrete structure, which was the cause of the disaster at the end of this accident sequence.
It's easy to think that planes are so highly automated and sophisticated that they can almost fly themselves. Clearly not.
No, I'm afraid we're still going to need pilots for a while, because, you see, things can go wrong. Hitting a flock of birds, which we think was at least a part of the factor in this, it causes damage. It looks as in this case it caused one engine to stop completely and possibly to be very badly damaged. It might even have caused some damage to the other, giving the pilot less power. But when the pilot put the aircraft down, although he didn't have the gear down, the undercarriage down, although he didn't have the flaps down, the touchdown itself was perfect. It was just very fast, and the aircraft skidded the full length of the runway on its belly, but you can survive that. Aircraft often have. And it went off the end of the runway, and the disaster came when it hit this really strong structure, solid structure, just off the end of the runway, right in the middle of the extended centre line of the runway. I don't know what a structure like that was doing there.